The number one advice that I'll be giving someone in business is to jump on, I think, social media. I think social media is huge.
So joining me on the line today, I've got Mina Baselyous. Welcome to the call, Mina.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Maybe tell the audience a bit about who you are, what you do.
Sure. So who I am, I think I'm someone who's just, a human who likes to serve. And I've chosen to serve through accounting. And I quickly touched up on why I decided to go that way, David, by mentioning a soccer club that I helped establish through a local parish, and how I loved that interaction and how everyone grew from it.
Yeah.
And that was really the catalyst to move from accounting in a company as an internal accountant into public practice accountant, where I do advisory and business services.
Fantastic. So tell me a bit about what you're doing with your accounting firm to navigate the current economy.
So what we're doing is we're working with clients to explain what the requirements are for things like JobKeeper, grants, and various other incentives.
Yep.
And then giving that information to them and empowering them to take action.
Mm-hmm.
For example, how do you communicate with clients at the moment? Okay. Have you looked at communicating to clients via the internet, through social media? Okay. Have you tried to pivot, maybe change your trading hours, change the way you deliver to clients? So for example, restaurants, more through takeaway, through having a dining, an outdoor dining area, and using providers such as Uber and those types of delivery services to keep the business going.
Yep.
And keep clients coming in.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. And tell me about what you see as opportunity for business in the marketplace right now.
To be honest, I see the biggest opportunity is more people moving onto the internet, more
Yep.
people moving online and developing their brand through online marketing. It's surprising how many people are not active online. And being active online, I think is the best way to go about business, because you have people, just as an example, say on Facebook, right? We all have friends, family on Facebook, and it's as easy as them getting on, scrolling up and down, and they're presented with the client's products, okay? The client's service. Say the client at the moment, I'll give you an example. So the client was a real estate client, where they couldn't conduct auctions and they couldn't conduct inspections. What they can do, though, is still advertise their business and educate clients, help them understand what will happen when the market opens up again. Yep. Just as a quick example, okay? A restaurant can continue to educate its clients about the food that it produces,
yep,
that they make, right? They can tell the clients, maybe here's a few courses or food that you can make at home. Just something to interact with them, something to keep them loyal to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So tell me a bit about your priorities in your business right now.
So the priorities is, again, to continue to communicate with clients, to help them out as much as we possibly can, and to take the proactive approach.
Mm-hmm.
So before clients contact us, we reach out to them.
Yep.
We structure things in email, and make sure that they understand it and make sure that we're available. And I found that that's the most important thing at the moment. Okay, it's just to be here, to be contactable and reachable for the clients.
Fantastic. So let me ask you, on a personal level, Mina, what have you learned out of this experience?
I've learned that you can think that you're safe and sound as a business and secure until something like this comes out of the blue and really hits your business, and very quickly you need to adjust. You need to find out what you're going to do. For some businesses, you need to find out if you're going to close. For some businesses, you're going to find out if you're going to grow, right? If you want to invest in your business, say if you're a supermarket, you operate a supermarket chain, you might say, well, now is the time to grow. Now is the time to look at buying, look at areas where we can continue to grow. Or maybe perhaps instead of looking at products through an intermediary, let's go straight to the source and bring it in, ship it in, okay? Because there's quite a lot of demand and we need to meet that demand.
Right, very good. So let me ask you, you've been in business for a little while. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice that I've ever received is to love what you do, and then you always be doing what you love.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
And sorry?
I was going to say, a lot of people, they go into business, but they sort of, they start to resent it.
Yeah. And it's very important to understand your why, have that clear in front of you, because the tough times will come, and that's the only thing that will push you. Okay, that's the only thing that will keep you going. Now, with that in mind, you do need to flex. Okay, so this is my why. Say, for example, your why can be your family, or you can want to achieve something in your community that you're passionate about. All right, keep the why front of mind, but try to flex as the situation comes.
Right, so just being a bit adaptable.
Correct.
Yeah, fantastic. So let me ask you, favorite book?
Favorite book?
Yeah.
What day of the week is it, David?
I don't know. What's your favorite at the moment?
I've got quite a few books. I've got two that I really like. One of them is Good to Great.
Yeah.
Really, really good book. Really enjoyed reading it.
Yeah.
It's relationship based and focuses on what separates a good company or good business from a great business. And a lot of it is about leadership. And again, going back to why and having the right people on the bus. Okay. The other one that I'm reading at the moment is the Compound Effect.
Right.
And that's mainly about consistency, being consistent in your business or just in your day-to-day life, having habits.
Yeah.
And continuing to apply those habits, knowing that they're beneficial habits, and eventually you'll see really, really large gains. Eventually, it's a bit of faith too.
Yeah, and I think people struggle with this notion of compound interest, and compound effects in life.
Yeah, and you see it everywhere. You see it in economics, you see it in nature. For example, you look at a tree, right? It has roots, the root grows the trunk, and then the trunk grows off into the branches, and the branches have several other branches, right? So there's the compound effect. Another place where the compound effect really comes into play is, for example, with JobKeeper, some businesses haven't fallen to that 30% turnover, and everyone wants to get JobKeeper, David, okay? But a perspective I take is, listen, if you haven't received JobKeeper, think about it this way. You're continuing to liaise with your clients and you're continuing to build rapport and grow your customer base, right? So say, for example, you had a 30% reduction in turnover, right? Consider that as 30% reduction in the clients or the customers that you can deal with. So that's actually, you can compound that forward, right? You can see how great that will be. You sort of understand where I'm coming from?
100%, because I think it's one of the most dangerous things that the government ever offered. Because
well, some businesses are actually helping them. Other businesses, it might not be helping. It might not be pushing them to do everything that they need to do to continue to flex and adapt and even grow their market share.
It's like taking 3 months off from the gym and then going back into a competition, right?
Correct. Painful.
Well, you know what happens over Christmas when people go away and they stop the diet? They gain about 5 to 10 kilos.
It's happening right now during lockdown, David.
So it's interesting because you're right. There's a counter effect to the government subsidising business. where a lot of people just lose self-discipline and they go, well, I don't need to work because I've got the money. But then when it comes back to getting going, it's really difficult.
Yeah, I've heard stories where employees don't want to come back to work because, well, if I'm on Centrelink and I'm being paid the same amount, then why would I go back to work? Now, the effect of that is that you don't continue to refine and improve your skill set.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Even if you're looking to employ people right now, there's not a lot of people looking for work because they're on paper.
Yeah, yeah. And even if you've been hit hard and you're not working, try to do whatever is in front of you, whatever is in your hand, whatever you can control. For example, and I know that doesn't apply to everyone, but I'm trying to keep it as positive as possible. If you've been let go from a job, for example, try to look at a course that you can do where you can improve yourself. The time is passing anyway. Now, there's other psychological parts to this. The whole human interaction, not interacting with other humans. But if you try to keep yourself busy, interact with humans through other ways, phone, that type of thing. Try to keep your psychology in check. Try to have, again, a why and see what you want to achieve during this period.
Yeah, fantastic. Really good advice. So let me ask you just the last question, Mina. What's the number one piece of advice you'd be giving to someone in business right now?
The number one advice that I'd be giving someone in business is to jump on, I think, social media. I think social media is huge. And I think that whatever you're going through, continue to push forward. See how you can serve your community at the moment and your client base, whatever business you're in. And have faith that will reap rewards on the other side of this when we come out of the tunnel.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for your information. It's been really enjoyable talking to you, and there's some really great tips in there. So thanks, Mina.
Likewise. Thank you, David.
Cheers.